TheAdvocateChannel.com looks at the world through the lens of equality and inclusion. Subscribe, like, and share now. AC 24/7's Top Story Countdown continues with our producer's pick for number 3.
Tonight, a Northwest Pennsylvania community on edge as the manhunt for prison escapee Michael Charles Burham intensifies.
Burham is to be considered armed and dangerous, and we ask the public, please do not approach him.
The 34-year-old inmate escaped the Warren County Prison last Thursday night, the jail located in the small town of Warren, 60 miles east of Erie, near the New York border. Authorities say Burham climbed up on exercise equipment in a rec yard and got out through a metal-gated roof. He then rappelled down the side of the building using bed sheets that were tied together.
Burham is a self-taught survivalist with military reserve experience. We believe he has previously prepared to conceal himself in the woods.
More than 15 local, state, and federal agencies have joined the search. Pennsylvania State Police revealed they had found small stockpiles or campsites around Warren believed to be associated with Burham.
We do believe that he is getting some assistance. From where or what that type of assistance is, I'm not prepared to comment on.
Burham was being held on arson and burglary charges and is the prime suspect in a recent homicide investigation, authorities said. He was also connected to a kidnapping and a carjacking.
In the past, he has sought and been successful in obtaining a firearm when on the run. I expect that he will have tried the same thing.
Residents of Warren and the surrounding communities are being asked to stay vigilant.
My mom has been texting me nonstop, saying text me when you're walking, text me when you get home.
Afraid for my family, and this is something you can't really fathom, that we're really going through this.
Like the Advocate Channel on Facebook for the best way to get updates on stories that advocate for equality, justice, our rights, and more. AC 24/7 continues with today's top 2 pick.
It's called Prime, and it comes in a variety of flavors, and it has taken off on social media. If you have young children or teenagers, chances are you might have heard about this popular drink. But now lawmakers and medical experts are warning that the product may not be safe for young consumers.
It's one of the hottest trends of the summer.
Uh-oh!
Now, the influencer-created energy drink Prime is facing growing scrutiny.
This is an eye-popping level of caffeine for a young kid's body.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer is calling on the U.S. Food and Drug Administration to investigate the product. Prime energy drinks contain more than double the caffeine of a can of Red Bull and 6 times more caffeine than a can of Coca-Cola.
The amount of caffeine in these drinks can give children and teens headaches. It can give them jitters, nervousness. It can interfere with the sleep cycle, which is so important to the developing brain.
According to its website, the company does not recommend the energy drinks for anyone under the age of 18. Still, Schumer claims the company is targeting children through social media.
Kids see it on their phones as they scroll, and then they actually have a need for it.
The company also sells a caffeine-free drink called Prime Hydration, but there are concerns the branding between the two products are too similar.
Because the product is billed as a hydration and sports drink in its other near-identical form, kids are likely to ingest cans of this stuff with the parents being unaware.
Now, in response, the manufacturer that creates Prime has said that they have followed all of the FDA regulations and requirements before putting their drink on the market. They also point to their packaging, which they say warns about people younger than 18 years old drinking the energy drink. But because there's such similarities between the energy drink and the hydration drink, lawmaker says that puts the onus on parents to make sure that their children are not drinking these highly caffeinated drinks, and that they should do more to create a difference between the two products. Reporting in New York, Gloria Pasmino.
Follow the Advocate Channel on Twitter and Instagram to stay updated on stories that matter every day. Here's our number 1 story of the day. Take a look.
Vanessa Salgado's nightmare began last spring in her Albuquerque home.
He was molesting my daughter.
Salgado learned her live-in boyfriend, Bradley Wallen, had been sexually assaulting her 16-year-old daughter, Alexia, for years. She called the sheriff's department.
We're going to try to get an emergency restraining order.
On the body cam video, you can hear Alexia telling deputies about an argument.
He was telling me that I had been acting like I had an attitude towards him. I couldn't keep it in, and I said, it's because you sexually assaulted me. And then he got out of his car and he admitted what he did. He told me it was wrong.
Weeks later, Wallen spotted Alexia's car at a shopping center. He shot and killed her and her cousin Mario Salgado, and then turned the gun on himself. It was Mother's Day.
No parent wants to lose a child. No parent wants to see their child gone before them. Honestly, I wish he would have took me. Let her live.
Vanessa says she had told law enforcement Wallen owned guns. The restraining order she filed against him lists 2 firearms.
And I literally opened up the drawer that had the guns in it and showed the officer.
And did the officer say anything about whether those guns could be taken away?
No.
These two were inseparable.
What Vanessa didn't know then is that New Mexico passed a red flag law, which allows firearms to be temporarily taken away from those deemed dangerous to themselves or others. Deputies escorted Wallen as he retrieved his weapons from the home, along with his belongings.
I said I was concerned he possibly might commit suicide.
So you told law enforcement you were worried he would commit suicide?
Yes, ma'am.
That alone should have allowed Vanessa or the police to file what's called an extreme risk firearm protection order or gun restraining order. But she was never told of that option.
I just wish I would have known. So I would have had the right path to protect my daughter and my nephew.
The system failed on all facets.
Sheriff John Allen wasn't in office last year when the murders happened, but he says there was a breakdown in the process.
She did convey that he could harm himself. That seems to be an example of when guns should be taken away under this law, right?
Correct.
So was it a mistake they weren't?
I don't think it was communicated correctly. The information wasn't relayed to the district attorney's office enough, and that could be from our detectives, that could be from family, that could be from witnesses, that could be from victims.
What happened to the Salgado family is a key example of how difficult it can be to implement these life-saving laws in some states. Records obtained by CNN show New Mexico's red flag law has only been used about 30 times since it took effect in 2020. As a comparison, Florida's similar law has been utilized more than 11,000 times since it was enacted in 2018.
It's difficult for people to understand how to enforce the law. Education and training hasn't gone around the state like it should have.
Of the 21 states that have red flag laws on the books, New Mexico is by far the most gun violent. It's a blue state that is mostly rural, yet it has the 3rd highest gun mortality rate per capita in the U.S.
Even with that violence, New Mexico sheriffs petitioned against the passage of the law and created Second Amendment sanctuary counties where it wouldn't be enforced. A judge weighs every decision, but because red flag laws are relatively new, there tends to be misinformation.
It's not law enforcement filing in a vacuum. There is a judge looking at the facts of the case and then making a determination based on that.
Studies show red flag laws can work to diffuse potential violence. The key is making sure people know about them.
I just want to have a voice for my kids, and I want this story to be told. And hopefully it will save another mother that's going through the same thing I'm going through.
Thanks for watching the Advocate Channel's top stories. We're on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube. Follow, like, and share, or check out advocatechannel.com for even more stories that advocate for you.